Well, I like Irish whiskey. Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a St. Patrick's Day special. Here in front of me, we have 6 samples of Irish whiskeys, and I haven't had Irish whiskey since my college days, and I've only had Jameson. So we're gonna find out if I actually like Irish whiskey or if I'm just a strict bourbon drinker, because you guys know my thoughts on Scotch. But we're gonna go over these samples that I was able to acquire, and I'm gonna let you know what exactly we have here in front of me. So we pretty much have the entire spot lineup here. We have the green spot that comes in at $65, 80 proof, and it is traditionally 7 to 10 years old. Next up, we have the blue spot that comes in around $140, cask strength, 7-year-old Irish whiskey. Next up, we have the yellow spot that comes in at $120. This is 100 proof, and it is a 12-year-old Irish whiskey. Next, we have the red spot that comes in at $105, 92 proof, and 15 years old. And then we have the big boy, the gold spot, that comes in at $140 at 102.8 proof, and this is a 9-year-old Irish whiskey. And then we have one red breast offer. We have the Red Breast PX Sherry Hogshead Cask Finish Irish whiskey, coming in at $130 and 92 proof. This is going to be a blind. We're going to find out which out of these 6 Irish whiskeys I prefer. They've been spun around, they've been mustached up, and we're going to find out which one of these is going to be my favorite. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite Irish whiskey is as a bourbon drinker, or if you don't like Irish whiskey, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you are brand new, drop that like, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to let you guys know when I upload my videos. But without further ado, we're going to start on my left-hand side here. That's very interesting. This is very citrusy. Like I said, I am not familiar with Irish whiskeys, and I'm not quite sure what exactly I'm supposed to find out of these. This has a very light citrus nose. I get a little bit of a butterscotch. Let's get to the palate. It's got a little bit of a spice to it. Like not a cinnamon or a pepper, but there's a touch of a spice in there, maybe a little bit of a clove that I really enjoy. It has this touch of bourboniness in there, but it also is completely different. And I kind of enjoy that. It's a little bit higher proof, I'm gonna guess, from your traditional like 80 proofer. I mean, all of these are in that higher 90 plus proof range. That one is a very nice sipper. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of citrus on that back end, and I enjoy that very, very much. But let's get into glass number 2 here. This is a little bit more on that traditional like single malt nose that I'm used to from like a Jameson. This smells like corn though. Like I get like a little bit more of like a corn whiskey out of this. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of a buttery nose almost. But then it has this earthy floral quality to it. But let's get into the palate. That's a little bit more traditional Irish whiskey than the first one. It's got a touch of a vanilla, but it also has this dry earthiness on the back end. It's creamy, but I get this little bit of a funk on that tail end that I'm not the biggest fan of compared to glass 1. Let's move on to glass number 3. Number 2 is not my cup of tea at the moment. Number 1 I really enjoyed. Let's get into glass 3 here. I get honey. Honey is sweet, sweet honey off of this. But then I also get this like chartreuse like nose as well. Like it's very earthy and floral, but then there's that honey. This smells a little bit hotter on that nose. Might be one of those above 100 proof. Let's get into the palate. Oh, that's interesting. You get a little bit of a raisin off of that. It's grapey. It's sweet. It's nice. It's very, very nice. I actually enjoy this a lot. Number 1 and 3 right now are really, really nice. Yeah, that's very like a sweet fruit in there. It's grapey. It's got a little bit of a raisin-esque coming off of there. That is delicious, actually. 1 and 3, delicious. 2, not so much. Let's get into number 4. This smells woody. It smells oaky. It smells older. This almost has a little bit of getting into that bourbon nose. It smells sweet. I get a little bit of a touch of molasses on that. But then I'm also smelling like sweeter candy almost. This has a little bit of like a rye spice in there, which is very, very interesting. Let's get into the palate. Oh, that's good. Wow, that is delicious. It's close to a bourbon. Whatever this glass is, that is incredible. That is 100% reminiscent of a bourbon in that glass right there. It's got this woody quality that brings everything together. It's a sweet wood. Not quite sure what kind of barrel it's finished in. It's got this vanilla-y, beautiful sweetness, rounded off with a touch of an orange peel that is so, so nice coming out of that glass. This one right here, number 4, my favorite so far. Let's get into glass number 5. Glass number 5, immediately, this might sound strange. I immediately got a Mountain Dew like nose coming off of this. Mountain Dew, some lemon, some lime, touch of a mango as well. This is very fruity, very, very fruity. But this is tropical fruits and Mountain Dew right off of this nose. Let's get into the palate. Well, I can tell you it's not Mountain Dew on the palate, but it is a really nice pour. It's a lighter proof one, I'm gonna guess. But I like that buttery mouthfeel that it has. It doesn't have any pronounced flavors, but the mouthfeel I'm gonna go as far as to say might be the best mouthfeel out of all of them at the moment. It's got a touch of sweetness, but then it also has this one note maltiness as a backbone, which is very, very pleasant. Let's move on to glass number 6 here. This is very grainy, but then it has this sweetness too. I also get raisins off of this as well. Get a touch of espresso off of this one. There's a touch of vanilla. This is a pleasant nose. Let's get into the palate. That's bourbon reminiscent as well. This is a delicious pour. It's got a little bit of a dark brown sugar coming off of this. There's a touch of lemon. Kind of reminds me of a sugar cookie or like a snickerdoodle. There's a touch of a spice in there as well, which is very, very delicious. But we're going to fast forward through the next blind, right to left, and we're going to find out what my favorite Irish whiskey is that I would recommend to you guys as bourbon drinkers. Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our lineup to find out what Irish whiskey I prefer the most out of this entire lineup. Let's find out what came in 6th place. 6th place goes to Green Spot. So Green Spot comes in last place. Let's find out what came in 5th place. 5th place goes to Red Spot. Very interesting. The oldest out of the lineup came in 5th place. Let's find out what came in 4th place. Yellow Spot comes in 4th place. 3rd place goes to Breast PX Cask. I'm going to be really, really upset if the Gold Spot came in 1st place, because it is these last 3 were very, very similar, but this first one right here, the first glass, I think stayed in 1st place. I could be wrong on that after going back and forth, but it just had this sweetness that was just very, very delicious right off of the bat, and then going back to it after the second round, it just got so much more pronounced, that sweetness, and it was a delicious pour. So let's find out what came in 1st place. 1st place goes to Blue Spot. So Blue Spot was 1st, and Gold Spot came in 2nd. Wow. That is a very, very fun lineup. These 3 right here will most likely eventually be on my shelf. The Breast PX, the Blue Spot, and the Gold Spot. But at the moment, the Blue Spot was my absolute favorite out of this lineup. And I think it was because its cask strength has all of those beautiful flavors that the Irish whiskey has to offer. It's a 7-year-old as well, so it has a little bit of a barrel complexity to it. It's a shame it's the most expensive out of the lineup, being at $130 if you can find it. But this was an absolute blast. But I do know that most of these spot offerings, if you're here in Central Jersey or in that Central Jersey area at Adelphia's, in East Brunswick. So make sure you guys stop in there. Let them know that I sent you there. And if you are a bourbon drinker and you've been wondering what Irish whiskey would be the best one for you, I recommend the Blue Spot. So, hope you guys enjoyed this St. Patrick's Day special. I know I did. I mean, I had some fantastic Irish whiskeys in front of me. But until next time, this has been Nathan with the Everyday Drinker.